Shalom. Did you ever wonder what the purpose of the plagues were? Why did God not simply take the children of Israel out of Egypt and plant them in the land of Canaan, if that was God's intention? Why did God have to bring Egypt to its knees? Was it to create a form of justice for that which the Egyptians wrought upon the Israelites? Was it some sort of payback for slavery? The issue is dealt with in this week's Torah reading, the Torah reading of Bo. In it, God says to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his courtiers, in order that I may display these my signs among them, and that you may recount in the hearing of your sons and of your sons' sons how I made a mockery of the Egyptians, and how I displayed my signs among them." And then it continues, "V'datem ki ani Adonai," in order that you may know that I am the Lord. In other words, from God's perspective, the purpose of the plagues was for the Israelites to know God. Now the word da'at, knowledge, is a word that was used first in the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve knew each other. The type of knowledge that the Torah is speaking about is experiential knowledge. They experienced each other in the most intimate and fullest of ways. They knew one another. It's the same word, da'at, that's used when the new king arises in Egypt. This king did not know Joseph. He chose not to experience all the good that Joseph had brought to the Egyptian people. And then when Moses appears before this Pharaoh for the first time, he says, "I don't know this God." So the type of experiential knowledge that God offers Pharaoh during the plagues is one where Pharaoh learns who God really is, and in his case, who God is not. Because the plagues themselves were an attack on the gods of Egypt. But for the Israelite, for this person who had been a slave, they were exposed to the greatness, the power, and the glory of God through the plagues. They were given the gift of wonder so that they might experience God and the hand of God in the world, and to perceive that the beauty and the majesty of the universe is not an accident, but comes from God Almighty. I was thinking about this idea because this year we are commemorating the 40th yahrzeit, the 40th anniversary since the death of Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. And for Heschel, the beginning of belief, the beginning of faith, was wonder. He once said, "Never once in my life did I ask God for success or wisdom or power or fame. I asked for wonder, and God gave it to me." All of us have the ability to know God. And it doesn't need to be as dramatic as the 10 plagues. All we need to do is open our eyes. And experiencing the world as God's creation is truly the beginning of faith, because it determines how we treat the creation, how we understand the blessings that surround us. And ultimately, this knowledge of God, this experience of God, will help us know each other better, to experience each other in the fullest and most meaningful of ways. Shabbat Shalom.
Nerore i perade benim